Welcome. Hey, great to have you, Business Growth Accelerator, where we're going to give you simple strategies for solid business owners who are wanting some serious results. I want to talk to you today. Have you ever noticed on TV or when you're listening to the news and there's a big news item that comes on and they tell you that there's been a virus outbreak, kind of which we've had for the last 18 months, and that so many people have been infected with this virus? Or there's been a mass shooting somewhere and so many people have died? Or there's been so many people that have been injured in it. Or there's been a huge storm that has ripped through a place and it's actually flooded an area, and there's been houses that are flooded or houses that have been washed away and people have lost their belongings, which is really terrible. You remember back to Ship Lake, I think about a year ago. How many of us remember that? Because the thing is, it makes the news for a few days, and then what happens? The news moves on to the next big event and you forget about what's just happened. And I sometimes wonder what happened in that storm? I wonder what happened to those people. What's happened in that virus outbreak or that mass shooting? Because you never know. The news has just moved on and there's no accountability to go back and find out what's actually happened. Now, I find this in business as well, because quite often you'll go to a seminar or you'll go to a workshop and you get all excited about the stuff that you learned and you want to put it into practice. But because there's no follow-up or accountability or no responsibility, you let it go by the by. Raise your hand if you've done that before, because I know I have. Because you let it wane and you don't put it into your business. So the question is, how do you actually fix that? How do you actually be accountable to ensure they actually put your learnings into practice and into your business? Because it's very much like the news. Unless you're going to go back and revisit it, or someone helps you, then you just move on to the next big shiny thing and you forget about embedding what you need to learn and do here without putting it into practice. Because then you go to the next thing and then the next thing after that. But when you work with Janelle and I, you're going to learn that there are just 7 fundamental laws in business that are going to make you even more money or reduce your hours of work so you can spend it with family or friends. And I need to warn you now, though, that if you do work with Janelle and I, you could be in danger of learning something and putting that into your business. Because we will help you to be accountable and responsible and to embed those things that you want to put into your business, that you need to put into your business to make it a great business. You're going to put actions in place. You're going to be responsible for being an even better business owner. So let me ask, how do you ensure these things get put into place? Well, let me give you this analogy. Do you remember your first day at school? How excited you were? Yet probably how nervous you were as well. It was something new. You were wondering what was going to happen. Now it's a kind of, it's a little bit like that in business as well when you first start off. But when you went to school, you didn't just go and sit at your desk and know how to do your maths or your logarithms or how to do your English or your science. No, there was a teacher at the front teaching you and guiding you and putting together an agenda so you knew what you were going to learn that day or for the coming week. And I think it's interesting that when you're learning, you didn't do it all in a rush either. You actually learned in chunk-sized bits, or bite-sized chunks, as they say. And you would then embed those bits and those learnings into your mind, and then you'd practice them. And then you'd have a test to see what your learning was like. And if you passed the test, great. But sometimes, and especially if you were like me, you failed the flippin' test. And you had to go back and relearn it and reset the test. But the thing is, that was actually okay. Because when you failed the test, the world just didn't stop. You could actually go back and learn and relearn it again and then reset the test. And this is the same in business too. That when you make a mistake, you can actually learn again from that mistake. Now, all the way through school, or all the way through your learning at school, you had that teacher at the front. And all those 10 or so years that you were at school, that you were there, and when you left with the knowledge, you either chose to go to university or you chose to go and do a trade or start your own business. But again, you weren't left by yourself if you went to university or you chose a trade. If you went into business by yourself, though, you were. Now, when you were at university or the trade, you weren't expected to know how to do all the plumbing or the electrics. You had a teacher or a lecturer who actually taught you all the intricacies of plumbing and electricity, how to do your trade. And you had to learn, and you had to put that into practice through doing exams. And you had to do so many hours, or you had so many years for your degree if you're at university. Now, isn't it funny, as I said before, that when you go into business, you think you can do it by yourself? Yet all the way through school and all the way through university or trade school, you had a teacher or a guide or a mentor to guide you. Yet when you go into business, you think, I can do this by myself. That to me just seems crazy. The thing is that when you had a teacher, you learned twice as fast than if you tried to do it yourself, because you're going to get help with the questions and guidance that you need. So, my first question to you: if you want to actually get your business to a stage where you're making even more money, or you're spending less time at work because the business is running without you having to be there all the time, what do you do to make this happen? Second question for you: in 5 years' time, if I was to Google you and your business, what would it be that you'd like me to read about you? Third question, and this is the last one: how much money do you think it has cost you and your business by not following up or helping and asking for guidance and help or having a mentor? Just think about that. Because I know when someone, as I said before, has a mentor, just like Janelle and I have, we have mentors, we'd be able to go twice as fast and make twice as much money because someone has guided us, as opposed to us falling into the potholes and us making mistakes thinking, gee whiz, I wonder what happened there, having to think about it. Our mentor has guided us around those potholes. So if you want to change your world and move away from not having enough money or not having enough time for yourself or your family, or finding that business isn't fun anymore because you're working so blinking hard, then Janelle and I have a solution for you to change this paradigm so you do make even more money for yourself. You do have the time you need because the time you need for yourself because the business is running for you and you're now having fun in your business. Now, if this is you and this is what you want, please get in touch with me, and together Janelle and I will show you how to have a great business which gives you more life for yourself. And here are the details where you can get in contact with Janelle and I. Please don't procrastinate any longer. Make this day the start of your new journey. Because if you're going to start, then we're here to help you. All right, here are the details to get hold of Janelle and I. You can just have a call with us to see if we're the right mentor, because bear in mind, we may not be the right mentor for you. And that's actually okay, but you need to find someone who can help and guide you. Screenshot these details and let me help you. Screenshot them now. Let's have a call and let's see if we're the right fit. Now, going back to that question about Google, because I know the answer to that question. I know the answer to it already. And if you know what it is that is said about you and you want to make it happen, then take up our offer of helping you. It's actually going to revolutionize your business. I'm Pete, Global Business Success. These are simple strategies for serious business owners who are wanting solid results, and we're here to help you to have the business and the lifestyle that you want.